Welcome to the Taste Lab with One Little Spice. I'm Julie.
And I'm Amy.
And today we are cooking a vegetable terrine from
Akershus
in the Norway Pavilion in EPCOT. Now, we are really excited to bring this dish to you guys because it's something that everybody can make because it is gluten-free and vegan, which is awesome, and it's super delicious for everyone out there that's afraid of eating just vegetables. I promise you, you will be in love.
We clearly enjoy ourselves some protein, but
I mean, and there's plenty of protein in
protein.
What we're making.
But I mean, like, we clearly aren't, you know,
we love
vegetarians.
our red meat.
But we also like some awesome vegetarian and vegan dishes.
And this dish was to die for when we had it, so I'm so excited to see what comes of it
I
this
know,
time.
it's really exciting. It's not currently on the menu because it was a seasonal vegetable terrine, but we're hoping come the fall, we're going to check, that it's back on the menu so we can tell you
it again.
Exactly, we can eat it again.
The nice thing about the menu at
Akershus,
I call it like Akershus, and it's not the same.
You could call it
wasn't that bad.
You could call it Akershus.
Akershus.
I just go with Akershus.
I love your pronunciation of it.
I don't even, it could be completely wrong, but I just go with it. That's what I learned about pronunciation. Just go with it.
But the nice thing about the menu is that it's kind of rotating throughout the season, so they kind of keep it really fresh with their flavors. So it's not on the menu now, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to be back later. And we talk about what the menu is right now on our podcast from 2 weeks ago?
I think it was a couple weeks ago, yeah.
Obviously, you'll know what we're talking about. It was episode 8. Yes, so it was episode 8. The last goat cheese. Star Wars reference again. So I think one of the things they had on the menu was some really yummy like stuffed pasta that sounded amazing. So they definitely replaced it with something else that's also super delicious. So on this episode, we will teach you how to make the vegetable terrine, and then we also have a little extra, which is the...
I was not prepared.
The extra, that is the...
smørrebrød.
So I also can't pronounce that word, so Amy's going to be pronouncing all of the Norwegian words today because I call it a smørrebrød, like Chandler would pronounce it from Friends.
I at least come a little bit closer. Feel free to tell us how terrible I'm pronouncing things.
Send us an audio clip or a video of you pronouncing it the correct way because we feel bad if we're not pronouncing it correct. We are trying really hard.
Yes. I did a little research into pronunciation. I'm not sure how good that research was.
And her research was asking her boyfriend.
He speaks a lot of German. It's very similar pronunciation.
Very true. So, to start with, we are going to cook our lentils because those take the longest. How they're cooked is they're simmered in a broth, kind of like rice, but for even longer.
Think of it more like a pasta because you're not going to cook all the liquid in, away or into it like you would with rice. You're gonna want a little bit of sauciness. That's where some of the flavors it develops in it. It gives you a little, sauciness.
But unlike pasta, you are not straining the liquid off of it.
No.
But we might add a little bit more liquid if it gets too dry because you don't want it to be dry. And the liquid, as it absorbs, kind of creates a really nice sauce to it, which is awesome.
Delicious. The exact strain of lentil will probably have an effect on that. We used
a French green lentil.
Yeah, we were looking for black lentils. That's what they had originally.
And the black lentils just made the dish look so beautiful, but we got the French lentils because they're a little bit darker green. We use vegetable stock because we're making a vegetable terrine. Yeah. So we decided
you could use chicken or beef stock, but we wanted to kind of stay with that it was a vegetarian dish because it was a vegetarian dish.
Exactly. Yeah. So we used the vegetable stock for it.
We're gonna make a little packet of caraway seeds so that you can pick them out. If you don't care, you can just shake them on in there, no problem.
You get the same flavor either way. I don't like crunching on a caraway seeds, so we are going to put ours in a cheesecloth pouch.
Yes. We're also going to add some coarsely chopped onions and some smushed garlic, or crushed garlic I should say, just to add some flavor.
We are now going to show you what we're doing with the lentils.
So we're going to make a little pouch for the caraway seeds if you use any other spices that you don't want to munch on. I don't have string, so I cut a little piece more of cheese ta-da, easy to fish out. So a little later in the cooking process is when we're going to add the caraway seeds so that it's not too intensely caraway flavored.
So we started with the lentils first because those are what's going to take the longest. They take anywhere from 25 to 45 minutes. So while those are cooking, we can start cutting up our vegetables and then cooking the vegetables. And once all the vegetables are cooked, then the lentils will be cooked and we can build our beautiful vegetable terrine.
Now, if the lentils get done earlier, before you finish cooking everything, just leave them on the stove, turn them off.
With the cover on it.
The cover on it's going to keep it pretty warm. In our Le Creuset French oven, it stays nice and warm because it's, cast iron, holds on to it. So if you don't use a cast iron piece of cookware, if you're using like stainless steel, aluminum, whatever it is, you can go ahead and just reheat it if it happens to cool down.
Yeah, it should stay warm enough.
But if you want it like piping hot,
you can warm it up for a few minutes.
Yes.
So next we are going to slice all of our beautiful vegetables. So for our vegetable terrine, we are obviously starting with the lentils, which are already on the stove. We are going to roast a whole bunch of vegetables. So we start with portobello mushrooms. On top of that is eggplant, some roast beets, zucchini, caramelized onions, and then around it is going to be the broccolini that we're roasting, as well as the asparagus. And on top we are doing a nice fresh salad of yellow peppers and tomato, with a nice herb vinaigrette that's basically just going to be some dill, chives, and olive oil mixed together in our beautiful little ninja. We'll show you that. And that will be drizzled on top as well. A little sprig of microgreens, and boom, there is the magical plate of vegetable terrine.
So we added asparagus because it was not in the original dish, but we added asparagus because it's really popular early summer vegetable in Scandinavia.
And it's delicious.
It's delicious. They apparently, when it's in season, everyone just goes crazy for it, as everyone should, because it's delicious.
I tried to get white asparagus to kind of add a little contrast, but it didn't exist.
No,
it exists.
Well, I was going to say it exists.
I just couldn't find any
at the supermarket.
All right, so we are going to show you all of our vegetable roasting. The mushrooms, they tend to sweat a lot.
Yes.
So that's not a bad thing.
No, that's good.
And they're not going to get as caramelized as some of the other vegetables that we're roasting, but, well, you won't be able to tell that they're getting caramelized because of the color, and just don't burn them.
Yeah, you're gonna flip the mushrooms several times as you cook it, and
basically everything, as you will see, is a bit of olive oil in the pan, flip sometimes, make sure it gets a nice caramel coloring. It's pretty simple, but some will cook quicker than others. Some will take longer. So for the fresh salad, we are going to dice up some yellow peppers and some tomato. And we're also making a very simple herb oil to go on top of it, as well as mix in with the salad to kind of add a little extra layer of freshness. And this, we are using dill, chives, and just olive oil. And we are going to mix it in Amy's Ninja. To let Amy plate it because she plates things so beautifully.
Thank you, Julie.
really excited about this vegetable terrine and forgot to share a picture of us eating it, but I don't know, Amy. I think it was better than what we had in Norway.
I would agree. I'm totally okay we forgot to take a picture of ourselves eating it because we got to eat it, and I'm just super happy.
And I gotta say, I was a little skeptical about how this was going to come out because it didn't seem like there was much to the recipe. Roasted vegetables, cook some lentils, add some caraway seeds, but the finished product was just incredible because the roasting of the different vegetables brought out so many different flavors, and eating everything together, oh my god, it was so delicious.
And the textures of the different vegetables really play well off of another. Like, some of them are a little crunchier, some of them are a little softer. Roasted vegetables are just so tasty.
Alright, so as a little extra, we are going to make some
smørrebrød.
And those are
delicious.
I didn't point to you that time, Amy. And what that is a Norwegian style open face sandwich, and we'll go into a little bit more detail about that with Amy.
To go along with our vegetable terrine, we thought we would make some smørrebrød. It's basically all the ingredients you would find on the cold buffet at Akershus. So we figured it would be a fun sort of way for you to make that cold buffet experience at home.
And the reason why Amy's the only one talking about this is because I pronounce it schmafra, because I don't actually know how to pronounce it correctly, so I take the Chandler route.
Yes, I kind of know how to pronounce it correctly, I'm just going with it. So the most traditional smørrebrød is going to be a dense rye bread that's smeared with butter. Like, and technically that's all you need to be. So smør is butter and brød is bread. So technically if you put those two things together,
butter bread!
Smørrebrød.
I'm sorry if that was really loud. I'm behind the mic and really close to it.
So historically how they came about was men started working in factories in the Norwegian countries, and they weren't able to come home to have lunch every day like they were previously, so what they would start to do is they'd get some bread and put a little butter on it to keep the juices of anything on top of it from soaking in. They would either use like pickled herring, that sort of thing, you know, cured meats, leftovers from last night, and you know, a couple other fun things on top of it, and they'd bring that to lunch with them. You're making a face.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Okay. So it was picked up by the rest of Norwegian culture and eventually evolved into what we know today. You could think of it as an open-faced sandwich, and it technically is, but you don't eat it that way technically. Now you can eat your smørrebrøds however you want to.
I ate it to my face.
She ate it to her face. Technically you are supposed to eat them with a knife and fork. So basically, if you're in Scandinavia and you order this,
don't pick it up with your hands.
Don't pick it up with your hands and eat it with a knife and fork. But in your own happy kitchen, do whatever you want. There are a couple other rules, like certain types of bread are supposed to go with certain filling, or toppings I should say. We only got one type of rye bread because it would have gotten really expensive.
We also got truly gluten-free stuff, but we ate it all.
Yes.
Whoops.
There's also a specific way if you were eating like a large selection of smørrebrød large selection of smørrebrød that you start with like pickled herring and then move on, like fishes, and then move on to like meats followed by cheeses, because if you eat them in a different order it kind of like messes with your palate. So the pickled herring and the pickled dishes kind of cleanse your palate, prepare your palate for the heavier things like beef and cheese, and if you eat them in a different order, you don't get that same delicious experience. So let's go ahead and show you some different ways to put these things together so you yourself in your own kitchen can enjoy that cold buffet experience of Norway.
Woo! from
Akershus.
which is in the Norway Pavilion, and we also made some
Smørrebrød.
thank you, Amy, which is another Norwegian dish, and in
Akershus.
they have a cold appetizer bar. So we decided to take some of those items and make them into traditional Norwegian open-faced sandwiches for you. So I hope you enjoyed that portion of it as well, because that's another way that you can bring that into your kitchen, and I hope we helped you bring some Disney magic into your kitchen. You can join us on Patreon for exclusive access to Magical Snack Corner, which is our bi-weekly podcast about snacks
In Disney.
Exactly. You have a chance to be a co-host on Magical Snack Corner. You can be our guest. One of the other Patreon exclusives is a signed copy of one of our vlog recipes. So you get to pick which one you want. We sign it, we send it out to you. So that's an awesome little addition as well. So if any of these things sound really awesome to you, head over to www.patreon.com/onelittlespice and choose your support level. We are so close to our first goal, which is awesome. Once we hit it, we'll be able to start building our website.
Yes.
And that way we'll be able to give you even more food content even more often. And we'll be able to share our Disney food stories and pictures and hopefully hear from you as well, which will be totally awesome. We're so excited about that. You are watching this, so you know we're on YouTube. So click subscribe and make sure you are here and find out about all of our latest episodes that are coming out. They come out once a month. And we do a recipe from one of the places that we've talked about on our podcast. First it was Le Cellier, cheddar cheese soup. This week it is the Vegetable Terrine from
Akershus.
and that was also one of the restaurants that we talked about on one of our podcasts. We are also on TeePublic, so if you want some awesome One Little Spice swag, like the t-shirts that we are wearing, we also have mugs, notebooks, tote bags, stickers, and a bunch of other really cool stuff. Check out TeePublic, the link is in the description, and you can also just search One Little Spice and we pop up, and you can grab yourself some One Little Spice swag.
And look cool like us.
Follow us on social media. On Twitter, we are at One Little Spice. On Instagram, we are _little_spice. On Facebook, we are One Little Spice. You can also search for our One Little Spice group. Join that. There are 3 questions. It's just so we can get to know our fans a little bit better. Be a part of our discussions about food, whether it's after the podcast or just anytime. We love talking about Disney food, so
Yes,
we
we
want to
do.
hear what you guys have to say. We want to hear your stories. Join the group and be a part of that. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. We love you. You're awesome. And just remember, every recipe starts with one little spice.